Very good.
Thank you, Toastmasters. And who are the guests here? Fellow guests. I am chief guest, you are all guests. That's the only difference. I'm going to share an interesting thought. I felt the minute I got in touch with this, I thought no better place than Toastmaster needs this. So for me to start this and for all of you to understand human relation principles, the first and most important condition is I need to have my spectacles. Okay, let me. So, as you all know, Toastmasters is a place where we seem to have a position of a president, vice president education, hope they have not changed, vice president PR, vice president membership, right? All these positions are there and we are helpless. Right? We can't do anything. If a speaker says, I'll give a speech next week and it doesn't come, what can you do? You can't do anything. Correct? You arrange a conference for 5,000 people, not even 1,000 people turn up. What do? You can't do anything. So Toastmasters is a place where you seem to have a powerfully titled position with no power. We struggle. And this is the best place to learn how to really bring power to what we want. The only way to do is, what I've been doing, I thought I'll put into some thought, but never able to collectively, in a nice way, put it. But this helped me to collect my thoughts quickly. So I'm going to quickly share these cards, so you can take one and pass on the rest. If you can give it to people. Somebody can quickly go around and give it also, should be fine. Because he is anyway timing me. This time should be excluded from that. Don't put this. So you all got a card, right? For 2 minutes, not in. So you have a card in front of you which says on one side, like any sides of a relationship, there are two sides. One which has 2 quotes, build bridges, not walls. And the other side has some 10 principles. So in Toastmasters, what we essentially learn is how we walk the talk, how we lead by example. And still how we manage to get what we want out of our membership. Or how members relate to you better. A lot of things are at stake and we don't know how to do. We do something, sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't click. It always looks like a potluck, right? Sometimes it gets, sometimes it doesn't happen. So these 10 principles can give you a clue as to how we can do it. So actually this I do as a 2.5 day program for second PU students to make them look at how it is going to help their future life, how they can deal with the life in front of them with these principles. So can somebody read these principles? Anybody in the audience would like to read? Toastmasters? Yeah.
Okay. First one is smile.
Okay. Good.
Put enthusiasm into your work.
Oh.
Fill your mind with thoughts of peace, courage, health, hope, and prayer.
Okay.
Count your blessings.
Okay.
Fifth one is give the other person a fine reputation to live up to.
Okay.
Ask questions instead of giving direct orders.
Okay.
Don't criticize, condemn, or complain.
Okay.
Arouse in the other person an eager want.
Okay.
Analyze your own mistakes. The last one is do unto others as you would wish them to do unto you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So these 10 principles, if we practice, if you make it as part of your system, follow your 21-90 rule where 21 days makes it habit and 90 days makes it as a lifestyle. If you can do this, I can assure you 150%, I don't know whether there is anything like that, but still 150% I can assure you, you will be able to do your role in Toastmasters or any other place where there is a title and no authority effectively. In Toastmasters, titles are responsibility, never an authority. So how do I execute my responsibilities in Toastmasters? How I can deal with people? At the end of the day, each one of you come here seeking something from this place, and you have your own agenda why you want to walk into this place every Saturday at 2:45, and we don't have a common agenda, right? Our horizontal line towards our growth is different for different people, and I have my own way of doing. This is the first time each one of us get a chance to decide how I want to attend a meeting or how I want to attend a session, the way I want, no parent behind you. Correct? You have a choice. So when we have a choice, we have our own inertia stopping us from this. So this is where all of us struggle, and this is where all of us want to lead each other, and this is where we want to learn something. So let's look at these principles, and I'll quickly run through with few examples. Maybe question answers will elicit more. Okay. So smile. So smile. Nice. I like this. He's immediately putting to use. Because of it, other people are laughing. Okay. So smile is one of the most powerful tool. While we all say this, we all know smile reduces the distance between two people. A lot of quotes are there. Really, we need to experience how smile can help us. Put yourself in a place where I was traveling in a metro somewhere in Europe, and everything was written in some Greek and Latin. And where I need to read in English, it was somewhere I don't want to get up or go. So I was struggling whom to ask where this station is going to and where I have to get on. So I was looking for somebody, everybody looked alien to me. So I was searching for a face. One face finally established eye contact with me and smiled. I said, he is one guy who is smiling at me. Then without much ado, I walked to him. And I said, I wrote it down because I don't know how to pronounce most of the things. So I wrote it down and said, I want to get on here. He said, don't worry, I am also getting down, we'll get on. So a simple smile told me he is one guy who is keen to engage with me. The smile is the first thing which indicates that somebody is willing to engage with you or at least understands your position. If he has observed you for some time, he will understand your position, or at least smile tells you, yes, he is ready to engage with you. Correct. So smile is such a powerful tool in human relationship principles. That is why it is given the top position of number 1. Second is put enthusiasm into your work. Like food to your energy to the body, enthusiasm is energy to the mind. How much enthusiasm you put in anything you do. I did this training for us, kids between 8 years to 11 years in a small village. I had to translate most of these things into their native language. And when I said this, what do you understand by this statement, put enthusiasm into your work? If you do this, you will be effortless in what you do. First kid is answering. Second kid is saying, you don't feel tired. Third kid is saying, you can learn anything easily. So I am only saying these kids, we are hardly 6th or 7th, that too in a small village, were able to get into the core of put enthusiasm into your work. Many times what we lack when we walk into Toastmasters after taking a role is enthusiasm comes down. We don't know, there's a sense of fear or apprehension or concern or anxiety which takes away that small enthusiasm which we have when we give our name to VP saying that I'll give the speech next week. And after that, it slowly, the degree of enthusiasm comes down. Closer to the date, we disappear somewhere. We say we are in traffic jam, right? Or we have official work, on a call. Enough reasons, sir. And all these reasons VP has got already. He will check how many of them he will put only a chart. This is the 10th time I am hearing this. So I am only saying we have this. So when you really know that enthusiasm is there, enthusiasm gets you, you feel okay to come and speak. Correct? It's okay to make a mistake. I remember my second speech in Toastmasters in October 2000, where the title was to be or not to be humorous. I wrote a nice speech, title I wrote, then I had a beautiful speech I wrote. I went there and gave the speech. Including me, nobody laughed. And my good general evaluator came and he said, I know humor is a serious business, I didn't know it was so serious. Right? I was wondering what happens to me when I speak one-to-one. I could make people laugh. When I stand in front of the audience, nothing happens. Then that made me work with a lot of enthusiasm. Next time I remember February 14th, 2001. That was the Valentine's Day also in those days. So I was the master of ceremony for my club, and there were only 6 clubs at that time. So we had all these 6 clubs coming to the place where we met. We had some 50-60 people in the audience. I was the master of ceremony. So I had a lot of small anecdotes. And through the entire meeting, I made the audience laugh. Which means I was enthusiastic about my role, not apprehensive about what I want to do. So when you put enthusiasm into your work, things changes for you. Third is fill your mind with health, hope, peace, prayers and courage. Correct? This is a war attack, right? So what you feel in here comes down. If it is anxiety, apprehension, depression, what you get out of it is only that. These 5, like, let me take only one thing. When you have courage, the rage goes off. Correct? When you have health, you can heal. Correct? When you have prayer, there is a ray of hope also available. Correct? So these 5 things essentially makes you feel always it's okay about yourself. Right? Next is count your blessings. Anybody, how do you understand this statement? Count your blessings.
Gratitude.
Gratitude, right? But when I told this to children, they couldn't sense what gratitude. Because they are in village, right? They don't even know. Many people don't get food also 3 times a day. They're all from a very backward space. They didn't know what gratitude and all those things. Then I asked them, do you have a favorite food? Yes. Some said biryani, some said this. Okay. How frequently you eat? Whenever I want, my dad takes me. Okay, fine. So, do you have a book you like to read? Some kid says yes. Do you have a friend? Yes, I have a friend. Do you have a vacation place? Yes, somebody said yes. Do you have your sister, brother, father, mother, all the people? Yes, we have all those things. So I asked them so many things. Do you have a chappal to wear? Yeah, I have 2, 1 shoe and 1 sandal. How many dresses you have? 5 dresses. Some kids say 3. Something they said. Do you have a school to go? Yes, every day we go to school. Do you have notebooks and pencils to write? Yes. Do you paint? Yes. Do you draw? Right. They said so many things. If I tell you these things are not available for a set of children in some place in the world, how will you feel? That can't be. I said, then I put the video of Afghan refugees. Right? The kids there, they don't have anything, none of this. They don't have the next food. They don't have a book to write. They don't have a pen, pencil. They don't have a shelter on top. They don't have a building for that matter. They don't have a dress. They don't have a shoe. Then I told them, now, then what we get is something great. We cannot complain about anything. Now what we have to do is leverage this and do something nice. So count your blessings made more meaning to those kids when I told what is not available and what is available to them. We have a place called Toastmasters where we can come week after week after week, come and speak. Even if you don't speak, come and stand for 2 minutes and go back. After 2 meetings, you will start speaking. Many places don't have this facility. So we have a blessing here in Toastmasters. Somebody is putting up this place called Talk Magic. And really magic happens after a few times when you start talking. Correct? 5th is give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. If in Toastmasters, if you can do that, I think you won't have a dearth of members, you don't have a quality club meeting. Let me tell you, recently there was a storm, or I don't know what you call that, by name Gaja. I don't know, in Tamil Nadu somewhere it hit people. Right? Cyclonic storm. And there are a few kids who are collecting money for relief material. So these kids made a nice box with a hole on top. Go to every shop, collect some 10 rupees, 5 rupees, whatever they go. Unfortunately or fortunately for these kids, there was one more guy, a beggar, going in front of them with a plate. Every shop he goes, they also went, accidentally, not intentionally. After a few such collections, the beggar stopped and asked, hey guys, why are you following wherever I go? Correct? They said, no, this is for this, see this. This is a cyclone which has affected people and we are collecting money for that and we'll send it to the relief. There is a disease, so wait. So he took 10 rupees from his plate for his own pocket and whatever he had in the place, he simply pushed it to the box this kid had. Correct? This was told as an example by one of the small children whom I gave this card and give me one example in your life which explains this principle. The kids could say that beggar could show all the money he had in his plate from morning till afternoon except 10 rupees for himself and balance he shoved into that box. So that day they said, this we feel as a fine reputation to live up to. And as though he is a beggar, he showed us how we can live for the sake of others. If you in Toastmasters come and stutter, stammer, struggle, forget your speeches here, there will be somebody in the audience who has the same difficulty who will be given enough courage to come and speak. Not that you always need to be a great speaker to come and speak here. You have to struggle. You have to forget your lines. I remember the first icebreaker, I gave only the introductory thing. I said Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. After that I blacked out. I don't know what to say next. I looked at them and I started. In those days we have to wear tie. So nowadays we are all free. You have to wear a tie and tie should be matching, not matching, lot of things. So where I was sweating like anything, I forgot all my lines. Then I don't know how to deal with the situation. Then can I go and come back after some time? They said go, we also have to go for a break. Because if we stand here for next 5 minutes break, it's cold. They said okay, so I came back to my seat, we all went for a snack break, came back and I gave my speech. Correct? So, if you struggle here, it is nothing bad. You are giving courage to somebody to speak there. And if you grow in your speaking career, you are giving a fine reputation to fellow Toastmasters to live out. So this place can make you do something very proud, which can be a benefit to other Toastmaster guests coming inside to the Toastmaster. Ask questions instead of giving orders. This most of us know. When you ask questions, you understand others. When you give orders, you look down on others. I don't even recognize your capability. Correct? Don't sit like, please take it. If I say that, he feels upset. Okay, if I give orders without understanding why he doesn't have a table, so he's putting his leg up and writing. If instead of asking, I give him an order like this in front of everybody, and he feels so bad. You can go back to your You can go back to your position. I was meant to be a demo. So asking questions instead of giving direct orders makes people to feel comfortable with themselves. Now, even though they may not do things, they may have a different way of going to the same destiny what you want to have, but asking questions includes them. So in a Toastmaster meeting, if you find somebody is not able to do a role, not sticking to a role, not doing a role perfectly, not preparing for a role perfectly, as a VP or any member here can understand by asking questions what is his real difficulty. The more questions you ask rather than, we may not give orders in Toastmasters, at least we make conclusions in our mind. Correct, next time don't give this serious role to this guy or he may not do. We conclude in our mind, don't do that, that's equivalent to giving orders. So that is principle number 6. 7 is, don't criticize, condemn or complain. We know that it's very crucial to a relationship, we don't do that. But what happens is, not everybody thinks criticism is a gift. There is a book called Criticism as a Gift. If you can get out of it, read it. It's a nice book. Right? If you are and if others are, if you know for sure, they are like the coffee bean. Correct? It's very strong. When you roast, you get nice aroma. Coffee bean. It becomes better as you roast. You grind it, still wonderful aroma and flavor you get out of a coffee. And pour hot water, you get a wonderful decoction which gives you energy and vitality, right? So if you are like a coffee bean, if you know somebody is like a coffee bean, criticize as much as possible. If they are like the quintessential potato, don't do that. They seem very hard and they, mash up into a collapsible thing once you heat them. So don't criticize, condemn or complain. This is another important. In Toastmasters, don't ever do that. Because they have come for their journey, you have come for your journey. Can you take them along with you in their journey is what you need to do. Principle number 8, arouse in the other person an eager want. Every achiever around you arouses an eager want that I would also like to be that person. I remember year 2009 when we had a conference in Chennai where we have this Toastmaster. If at all get a chance to speak to him or meet him, it would be nice. Recently we had a nice chat. His name is Toastmaster Adnan Nakoda. You have to hear him speak. He gave a speech called Rowing Eyes, R-O-V-I-N-G, Rowing Eyes. And he talks about his escapades in the college, looking at the girls from left to right. Right? It was a humorous speech, so humorous, and it was at a level where everybody can enjoy. Correct? That day I thought maybe I should give a humorous speech like this guy. He aroused the eager want in me that I have to become humorous like him. Right? Still, all the people who were there in that meeting still remember When I told him the roving eyes, how much, I told him maybe you had a handful of groundnuts that day. Yeah, groundnuts. So he had groundnuts and he was putting like this and looking at windows like this. So he was doing a wonderful job. So arousing an eager want is you make other person to become one. And how much time I have, sir? Excluding the 2 minutes?
You have 12 minutes.
Huh?
12 minutes.
12 minutes I have. Oh, very nice. That's wonderful. So I'll take some more. That's including question answer, huh?
No.
No, excluding. If you say so, fine.
I'm very generous to you.
So let me give you a small story. I know how many of you have heard this video of Gururaj Karajagi, the speaker, motivator, and he was the youngest principal of a degree college. If you get a chance, go on YouTube it, Gururaj Karajagi, elderly person. I happened to meet him in his office and he was sharing this with me. He says when he was in his 10th standard, right, he studied in the same school where his elder sister studied. He is from the Hubli area and she was a topper. Every subject she will get 100. And you know this guy is polite. Right? He is not very bad. He used to score his 85, 90s and 100. But every time people will say, you are that girl's brother. How come you are like this? So he always had this difficulty with his sister. And she was topper. And he came to 10th standard and he wrote the exam. And the father decided to take the family. 4 of them went on a tour to see various places in Karnataka. After 15 days they go back to their house. You know how the house will be. You open the house, there will be a lot of unread newspapers scattered on the floor. And you know how we as children, when we finish our 10th standard and come back from a holiday, what do you think we will do? Throw our bag, once again go out to play with our friends. Correct, sir? Gururaj, no different. He also went outside to play with his friends. And his sister was checking all the newspapers, whatever it is. One newspaper she found the 10th results have been declared. So she took the newspaper and checked whether my brother's number is there on the state rank. She looked there, no number. She said, okay, at least first class. No. Second class? No. Pass class? No. Then they all felt this guy has failed. Okay, they don't know how to tell this to this guy is happily gone to play. And he'll come back anytime for lunch also. So they don't know how to tell this guy. They were struggling and the entire house was quiet. So he came, okay, utaktira, he came for lunch. Then he said, okay, sit, what to do? So they, they don't know. Maybe after food we will tell him. Right? As he was about to eat, his sister said, see, somebody is coming at a distance. So they found an elderly gentleman, the typical, that 1940s style of dressing with a kacha pancha, a white shirt, a black coat, a turban, and a typical long umbrella, a paper in one hand, and his pair of chappals on the other hand. Okay, it's hot at 1 o'clock, Hubli, you know how hot it will be. If he comes with the chappal, he will be slow, so he wanted to come fast. So he took the chapel, he was around 60, 65. He is running in the hot sun towards their house. He walked in and he straight away started his barrage of questions to the parent. Where were you? What sort of people you are? Are you not responsible? The son's result has come, right? It has come as fail. How can my student fail? He cannot fail. He is one of the top students for me. You have to apply for revaluation. We had only 3 days time. You are coming after 15 days. So I applied on my own. This is the receipt I applied. 5 rupees I have paid for his revaluation. When the results come, we'll look at it. He didn't even wait for a cup of water and went back. He was the principal of the school. Right? An elderly gentleman worried about how his students' future cannot be decided by a mistake in the results. 15 days, these people, now only he knew that he has failed. He doesn't know how to eat or not. Anyway, hunger takes over everything, so he ate comfortably. After 15 days, once again, you find the same elderly gentleman coming in the same form, running this time, and with the chapel on the hand, same dress. And this time he had a small paper once again. Then he said, see the result, he said. When he opened, they said, the candidate declared failed has been changed to 8th rank in the state. Correct? So he said, I am so happy now, and he started crying. Who? The principal. These people don't even know what to do. That principal was so, immersed in his student's future. He came, he could have given it to an office peon and sent it, but he wanted to personally give it and say that his belief in his student is always on the high. Gururaj Karajagi tells, that day I decided, if I grow up, I have to become a teacher like him. And he became the youngest principal at the age of 26 years for a degree college. Correct? That is arousing in the other person an eager want. What eager want you will generate in your fellow Toastmasters, in your Toastmasters journey. When I listen to Matthews, who recently won the district contest, right? You will feel like I have to be like him one day. How effortlessly he speaks, how powerfully he speaks, how conversationally he speaks, and how unassuming he is on or off the stage. Correct? That is a person whom I'd like to become. If he can do it, we all can do it. So how you will arouse an eager want in your, that whenever we fight, this is the answer we get, right? From our counterparts, whoever it may be, office or otherwise. And finally, do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. Simply says empathy. What you don't want others to do to you, you don't do to others. Correct? This is actually a golden rule. When you start with this, maybe you will get other things in place. Right? So these 10 principles, if you practice, what is written on the other side, build bridges and not walls, will surely going to happen. And this I found in the last 17 batches of 40 students each. They could change so much in their life, these PU students. When I meet them post that 2-day, 2.5-day training, I could see a lot of difference. They say, I'm able to deal with my teachers, I'm able to deal with my friends, I'm able to deal with my parents, I'm able to deal with my family and friends. So this creates a wonderful change in you. I leave this card with you. Any questions, I'm ready to answer. How much time we have?
Lot of time.
Yeah, okay. So a lot of questions can be asked. Any questions you can ask.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Please, sir.
First thing first, smile. I have a major problem smiling.
You have to cut your mustache. Even if you smile, we don't know.
Even if you smile, that is smiles also you can't see it.
Now you are smiling nicely.
Yeah, I tell after 2 minutes I should try that. But I'm not a person who can smile readily, since this tops a list on 1 to 10. Can this be inculcated? I can't smile on this, I find something really funny. So do I smile even when the situation is not funny, or how does it work?
There is a misconception. Smile is being misconstrued as laughter. Right? Laughter is something which tickles you, triggers you. You find a exactly opposite happening to your expectation, which triggers a laugh. Right? We expect a serious answer, sir, I cannot smile. I only say trim your mustache, we can see you smile. So it's an exact opposite answer which makes you laugh. So laughter is different from smile. Smile is simply saying I'm happy, I'm contented. Right? When you go to a resort and you get up in the morning and go to a cool breeze outside, you wait and see the sunrise, you actually smile. Only thing, you don't have a mirror in front of you. And a sense of contentment, sense of comfort level, the sense of feeling you are okay, all these things gives you a smile automatically. You don't frown, you are not serious, you are not anxious, you don't have expectations to deal with. If you are simply okay with yourself, there is nothing but smile in your face. And if you really want to include others in your life, sometimes we are scared. What happens, right? We need not always include to the extent of taking them into your inner circle. At least accept them as somebody who can be accepted as a fellow, even then you smile. So smile is the simplest thing where you feel okay with yourself. Now check whether you are okay with yourself all the time. I am not pronouncing something, but the minute you are comfortable, we tend to smile. So you can smile. It will be okay. I see your, WhatsApp photos, you smile. I don't see, maybe. Yes, I only recognized you from your smile. So just try to cut your mustache. Others can also see you smile. Hope I have answered. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes?
This part where you said that ask question instead of giving direct orders. But there are certain situations, or maybe there are certain professions where you have to give direct orders and there's no time to ask questions.
Give me an example. Hypothetically, I can't answer.
No, so in coronation we had a speech from an IPS officer and he was talking about the police and the police. So in a police, there are more orders than questions.
Not necessarily. See, if it is police to police, it can be order. Like army general to soldiers. Because if you say shoot, you have to shoot. You can't ask why should I shoot. Right? Enemy is standing there, shoot. Who is enemy? I can't ask him. But shoot in that direction, that's all. So for them, many times when they say charge, you have to charge. You cannot say that there is somebody there, I cannot. Charge is charge. So certain rules are there for them to quickly act. But if you find most restraint is exhibited by police before they get into what you call charging on the people. Even the traffic police, once you stop, he'll say stop. He will give you a few minutes to think and find your reasons why you are being stopped. Correct? He won't come to you immediately. He's stopping, he won't come to you, collect you money. No. He'll give you time, correct? And they'll ask you, why did you, what happened, why did you come like this? He will ask you a lot of questions. But in your anxiety, even before you ask, you will tell a lot of things. I have license, sir, only insurance expired. Okay. If you don't tell him, I simply say, wait, some VIP is coming, I asked you to come to the site. It can be only for that, but you blurt out whatever you want. So, I am only saying, asking questions mean understanding. Finally, if they establish, yes, there is still a violation of the rule, you have to be penalized. Correct? So, when it comes to, observing certain commands as part of the action to be taken, then there is no doubts going up at that time. You can ask a doubt when you are in the class, not when you are in the field. So there is no place where you need not ask questions, where you can ask questions.
No, but even in the workplace, like I don't know that Steve Jobs example that a lot of people give about I don't know what is that first computer that came out, and he said, I want this, I make it happen. There was no questions asked. And a lot of people...
He is saying we don't have any other option other than to bring. But for them to develop that computer, you can ask any questions on the features you want. You are being paid a salary, you have to work. If there is a democracy there, would you like to work today? I can't ask when you walk into the office. You have to work because you have been paid salary. Correct? But when he says, don't ask me any question, develop something on your own, he wouldn't have never told that. You have to engage with people to develop the features or the type of computer you want to develop. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But before that, have I answered you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, in your view, which is the difficult to imbibe or for people? Like most of these, maybe people easily adjust. Like it is available or it is already there in that person. What do you think will be the most difficult one to take? Or
What you take more time to understand?
Yes.
That's what. You tell me. That is the answer. Whichever you take more time to understand is the most.
I'm asking in general.
General.
Not for a particular
I think three.
Generally, by your observation. In
Principle
your
3 will be
experience.
the most difficult thing.
Which one?
Principle 3, fill your mind with thoughts of health, hope, peace, prayer and courage. Because it's very tough. Right? So, unless otherwise you first accept yourself the way you are. Correct? I have to accept myself the way I am today. Without comparing myself to anything or anybody. And feel I am perfectly okay in the way I am. Then I am mentally comfortable. If you stand in front of the mirror and give corrections to God, maybe you could have made me 1 foot taller. Nose slightly this way like Sridevi, and a six-pack like Salman Khan. When you give corrections, then your mind will be never filled with peace, health, hope, courage and praise. Correct? Courage also happens because you can, if you want to really understand courage, not in the sense of beating 20 people, you have to read the life of Mahatma Gandhi. How courageous he was, standing in front of the mighty British and say, if you want to beat me, beat me. I won't raise my hand or voice against you, you can hit me. That is courage. Courage. Courage in your convictions, courage in what you stand for. If you can develop that, I think that is what is expected than beating 20 people. What courage means is that in your convictions. Yes, sir.
The second thing about enthusiasm, I really agree, we need to put enthusiasm into it. But I feel there is at some point in time over-enthusiasm. Personally, when I am over-enthusiastic about delivering a very good speech, I kind of mess up. So,
That is not actually over-enthusiastic. It is over-enthusiastic about the outcome. Say, I have prepared my speech well, I have written a very good speech. And I know that everything I got correctly, the lines are in my mind, I have the body language, I have everything in place as per the guidelines of the project, everything. Now the mind shifts to future. As I deliver the speech, I want every part of the audience to applaud. As I finish the speech, probably the audience should give a standing ovation. So my mind starts visualizing the outcome. That gives a lot of energy. In the process, when I mess up, all my energy goes catapults and goes ulta. So enthusiasm never takes it away. It is not over enthusiasm, shifting your enthusiasm to results, not to the delivery.
So,
Next, check that out next time it happens to you, because it comes from your experience. So when you are prepared, when you are enthusiastic to give this moment is okay. When you go to future moment, then if it doesn't happen, then everything goes there. So you are shifting your enthusiasm to outcome than the delivery process. I don't know whether I am making sense. I am enthusiastic to give this speech, right? I am enthusiastic to give this education session, but I am not worried about how it impacts you at this moment. Maybe after the session I will be worried. Correct? Or during the session whether I am able to respond to your queries. When you giggle, when you laugh, when you ask more questions, I get a feedback, yes, I am on the right track. Correct? Otherwise I have my own. Yes, sir.
Just wanted to add to the same point, just thinking of the same. Putting enthusiasm into your work, I come across a lot of people who are kind of forced to do it. Unfortunately, they're.
I understand.
I'm not one of them, but I do something what I love. But the fact is, when you're doing something, you're confined to do it. How would you put enthusiasm?
This was a question asked by kids also. We don't want to study certain things, we are forced to study. How will you put enthusiasm into our work? Kids asking questions are always powerful. Right? So I have to, that time I have to tell them, shift to the benefit you will get, not to the process. Because the process is very difficult. People will say, follow the process, result will come fast. Following process itself is not enthusiastic to me. Right? I don't like mathematics. What do I do? Correct? Irrespective of how many steps you give to mathematics, even if you say copy also, I don't like it. Correct? I may copy the wrong answer and come. I am so frustrated. But I told them, shift it to the benefit. What is the benefit? I am only saying to these people, when I work with these kids, first activity what I did was, what do you want to become? I had 4 objects, 4 boxes. In one of the boxes, they have to write what they want to become in life. And I don't want them to write, I want them to draw any representation which is their future. One kid draw a cap and a small stick, saying that I want to become an IPS officer. One kid put a simple stethoscope, said I want to become a doctor. You know? So every kid is drawing something which is symbolic to the profession or the passion they have. When this question came, I told them only one thing. How focused you are to become that IPS officer or doctor? He said, I want it very badly. I said, then that is what you should look for when you have a boring subject. Because when you have 5 subjects, 2 subjects, your biology and zoology, maybe botany and zoology may take you towards medicine. Physics is a painful thing for those who don't like. Correct? But you have to pass this up to 12th. After that, you can shift to whatever you want. Physics or low temperature physics. But my father has other plans. He said after BSc Physics, he wanted me to do engineering. I don't know why. Because he didn't give me 600 rupees for my coaching for my IISc entrance from Chennai. In those days, I'm talking about 84, 85, for a coaching where I would have got it. He was ready to pay 3,500 after 6 months. He said 600 rupees I won't give immediately, 3,500 after 6 months. What nonsense. But he had something. He says he didn't pass 8th standard. He was working as a machine setter in Ashok Leyland. And he found people who called themselves engineer or people who passed engineering degree who got trained. They went and sat in a room in Ashok Leyland factory which had AC, some nice chair, nice environment. He wanted his son to be in that place. Before putting me in engineering, he said, come to my factory. I said, okay, anyway, leave, I'll go to his factory. It was horrible. Heat, you can't imagine Chennai heat, humidity, and to walk from his workplace to canteen is 2 kilometers. So for lunch you have to run, after lunch also you have to run. Then it is so hot. Then he took me to his manager's cabin. It was completely AC, nice, cozy cabin. Then as we came out and coming back in the bus, he said, this is what I am suffering. And I want you to sit in this cabin. That is why I want you to do engineering. So I felt, this guy has something. What's a big deal? What am I going to lose? I didn't have a big thought. Then I said, okay, I'll do my engineering. Right? But I said, I can go back to any day I want to do my research. Not in low temperature, but any temperature. Correct? And I'm going to do my PhD. Maybe another 1 year time I'll be Maybe 6 months time I'm going to start my PhD, right? So I can do whatever I want whenever I want. So if I shift, my 4 years of engineering was enthusiastic, I had fun. I know I can pass it, I know I can get my distinction or whatever it is. I won't apply. Only thing I decided, I won't go into core electronics because my subject was electronics and communication. So I said no electronics, only communication remains. Even now. So that's where we are. Hope I answered.
Yes.
Any other questions before time up? No yellow card, no red card. 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Last
This one
question.
last question.
This was asked by one of the guests who registered. May I know that guest is there? Abji?
No, I don't know his
No.
Anonymous, okay.
Yeah. No, just let me, yeah. So this was it's written that well during the ISC 2023, Matthew presented a wonderfully humorous and introspective speech. His speech had defeated two great, sad, evocative stories, that of Tina Johnson and Ankit. Do you think it is easier to impress an audience with happiness than grief? Was that reason for his winning? Is the question.
Okay, he's asking about how to speak or
No.
which is
Do
what
you
is
think it
better?
is easier to impress the audience
What's a
with
general
happiness?
question?
Because
Nothing
other
connected to do with the interpersonal
no,
question.
other two people, I think they were saying a story of grief or something, and
Okay,
maybe
fine,
Matthew
fine,
was
fine.
happiness.
Let
so
me
that-
answer only from the speech perspective. Nothing to do with the card you have. So all of you put your card in the pocket. See, it is not about what genre of speech you give. You can give a humorous speech, you can give a informative speech, you can give a what do you call a speech which is little low in terms of what you want to convey to your audience in terms of a life experience. It is nothing to do with what you want to convey. It's all about how you make meaning to the audience. You have gone through some journey in your life and you have experienced life in some form, and for you it is very vivid, live, insightful and powerful and impactful. Whether the same thing is happening to the audience at this moment when you are giving the speech. That makes the difference. It is not about what theme you speak, how you share the theme in such a way that the audience travel with you and experience similar, cannot be same definitely, experience similar, insightful, impactful experience like what you have done when you experience those events in life. Whoever gives it most will win. There is no ideal state to give a speech. Among all the people, who is the best? And they are converting, remember, a subjective experience into an objective score. Correct? Ultimately, judge you have to score. A subjective experience can be converted to a high score only when the impact is very high in them. When you are emotionally connected with them so powerfully,